As of 10:42 a.m. Central Time yesterday, any woman seeking an abortion in the great state of Oklahoma must now undergo an invasive medical procedure at least an hour before the abortion, or preparation for the abortion. The state of Oklahoma now mandates that regardless of medical need, every woman seeking to have that legal medical procedure must also be forced to have an ultrasound, and her doctor is ordered by the state to insert the ultrasound transducer vaginally, if that would provide the clearest image of the fetus. It's not the doctor's choice. The state mandates this. The woman seeking an abortion cannot say no, nor can the doctor. The ultrasound images will now have to be displayed where the woman can watch while she undergoes the procedure. Oklahoma's lawmakers will allow the woman to avert her eyes from the image if she wants. That's Oklahoma's definition of choice. Now, if you can't win the constitutional arguments and you do have to allow some women to get abortions some of the times because of that darn Constitution, you can at least make it as vile, physically invasive, and emotionally traumatic as possible, right? Joining us now is Anita Freem, the head of the Central Oklahoma chapter of Planned Parenthood. Ms. Freem, thank you very much for being here tonight. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
The Oklahoma legislature easily overrode Governor Henry's veto of this measure. Is there any political strength in Oklahoma behind stopping this? Is the governor pretty much on his own?
There are folks who have been working with the governor, been trying to support these efforts. I have to say, though, it does seem that we're in the minority.
There are still two other bills under consideration in Oklahoma. One I know would force women to fill out a very detailed questionnaire about why they are seeking an abortion. It would post some of that information online. Another would restrict insurance coverage for abortions. What do you think the prospects are for those bills?
I don't see a whole lot of hope for stopping them. I think the prospects are probably good. I spoke earlier this evening with the Center for Reproductive Rights about the possibility of additional lawsuits, and that is always still a possibility. We just don't know yet at this point. They did say that there are many constitutional issues with the reporting requirements law.
That same organization suing against the measure that was just passed by the legislature over the governor's veto, of course. Let's say the insurance can't cover abortions bill passes. What do you think the impact of that would be ultimately on women in Oklahoma?
Well, I think we'll have the same impact that is the goal behind a lot of these laws, which is just to make it increasingly difficult to have access to what is supposed to be a fundamental right. Make it harder and harder to get abortions, put more stumbling blocks in the way, make it more expensive, make doctors more reluctant to do the procedure.
Is it your feeling, as CEO of Planned Parenthood in Central Oklahoma, is it your feeling that the effect of these laws is essentially to make abortion so difficult to obtain that it is functionally illegal in Oklahoma, even if the Constitution still nominally protects it?
I do think that's the effect, and it's very clear that that's the ultimate goal. That's not a secret. That's a strategy that's talked about fairly openly.
How many abortion providers are still operating in Oklahoma, and I guess what's the morale of those healthcare providers right now, given this environment?
I think there are about 3. I may be missing one in there. Morale varies. We have good relationships with our local provider, who is a wonderful person. But, you know, it's tough. Every time one of these new laws goes into place, it makes it harder to provide the procedure and makes their legal risk greater and restricts what kinds of medical decisions they can make, which is something I assume no doctor wants to have to deal with.
In terms of Oklahoma in the broader context of what's happening with abortion rights in this country, a lot of people who are pro-choice are looking at what's happening in Oklahoma, in Nebraska, and some other states that have considered very restrictive measures recently. There seems to have been a flurry of them recently. And they're wondering if national assistance, national help speaking out about these matters helps or hurts, whether or not people addressing these issues nationally seem like carpetbaggers to those of you, for example, in Oklahoma, or whether or not at this point people who are pro-choice in Oklahoma want national help.
The need for national help is definitely here. We need everyone speaking out, no matter where they're from. I know what you mean about the carpetbagger issue, and I suppose that probably is an issue at times, but we need the voices worse. We need people to speak out.
Anita Frame, CEO of Planned Parenthood in Central Oklahoma. Thank you very much for your time tonight. Really appreciate your insight.
Thank you.